The forest management plan was released a couple of months ago, which is going to determine the way that Western Australia's forests are managed for the next 10 years. Conservation Council and WAFA are really upset about it because rather than stopping native forest logging, which is what we want, it's actually ramping it up by up to 32%. This is a real problem because the forests just can't take it. Climate change is really impacting the forests. There's been reductions in rainfall which have affected the viability of a number of the forests. The trees have started to die. There's also problems with a range of fungal diseases. Up to 20,000 hectares of the northern Jarrah forest have died, and they're now listed in the top 10 most endangered landscapes. A few of the facts about these forests: 91% of the carry is chipped, while 85% of the Jarrah is sold as low-grade firewood or charcoal. And, I mean, that's just revolting, really. We don't need to be doing this. These forests are some of the most beautiful places that you'll ever see. Another terrible thing that's happened recently is Colin Barnett reversed the ALP's policy, which was to not make railway sleepers from native forest. There are currently hundreds of thousands of these going to be produced under new contracts which have been signed. We're really worried that this new forest management plan is going to lock in and increase clear felling. They're even proposing reducing native habitat zones. And as you're all aware, those forests are home to some really iconic animals and plants that are really threatened. There's only 500 numbats left. They don't live anywhere apart from those forests. Those forests are already under threat. Even if we stop logging right now, they're going to get smaller, they're going to get sicker. Rainfall is going to keep on reducing under current climate models considerably, and a lot of that forest is going to die. And we're planning on ramping up logging rather than stopping it. I mean, that's just makes me want to cry. The government's gone against EPA advice on this. The EPA advised the stop on northern Jarrah forest. The EPA, of course, is the independent statutory body which the government set up to give it advice on environmental issues. It quite often goes against EPA advice, but in this case the EPA's advice was unequivocal. The northern Jarrah forest is under threat and forestry within it should cease. But despite that, the government's ramping up forestry. So what can you do about it? There's a 3-month period during which you can write submissions. Zoe's walking around. She's got some submissions you can sign. We'd really encourage you to do that. The other thing we'd encourage you to do is buy a copy of the Sunday Times tomorrow. There's a really interesting story which is going to break in that about the age of some of the trees which are being chipped. They're very, very ancient. So the line is that the forests that are being logged aren't old growth. I'm not sure what you think old growth means, but a 500-year-old tree to me is pretty old growth. So buy that paper, read the article, look at it online, and then write letters to the Sunday Times. We want to make this into a political issue. We want to make it into an election issue. So get in touch with every media outlet you can, particularly the Sunday Times, particularly the West. Make sure that their letters pages have got your voices in them and that the editors are aware that this is a real issue, that you're really interested in it and that you want change. Get in contact with your local MP, hassle them. We really need this to become an election issue. We need this to be something that political parties need to show that they want change on if they're going to get elected. That's basically all I've got to say. Let's really fight this one. Yeah.